morning, we're back. Everyday struggle. It's Thursday. We made it. Ak, Wayno, how you guys doing?
Another day, man. Another day. I'm excited.
I feel like I do what my mom does sometimes. I call you guys the opposite name and shit.
Yeah.
Your parents ever do that to you? Call you your siblings' name
I thought
all
that
the
was
time?
I do that to my kids.
Oh, you
I thought I was
too?
literally
Yeah, I do that
only
shit.
Jamaican
I
moms
thought
and
that
my
was a
mom.
West Indian
No,
thing,
that's a getting old thing.
Damn, Wayno.
Really? Nah.
Yeah,
my
I do that with my
The
kids.
thing is, my mom and my grandmother, they cycled through the names of the kids that they were born. So I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So I hear like two other names first before me, and I'm like,
Livingston.
Yo, do they call you Livingston at the crib?
no. Me and my father got the same name, so I'm called Junior.
Junior, yeah,
Ak,
of course.
That's really cute.
Junior.
All right. That's a nice little fun fact about you. The mysterious life of DJ Akademiks.
Yeah, we're going to get to it one day.
I'm not that mysterious.
You're very mysterious,
Very.
yo.
I'll
Very.
be at the crib.
Let
play
us pull up
Fortnite.
one
Like, if I
day.
found out this nigga was Batman, I wouldn't be surprised.
Word fact.
Hey, listen, you could pull up to. No, I'm gonna invite you out to the crib. My snake be there chilling. He's
It's
getting
been
big.
a year. It's been a year of me seeing you almost
Every time you
day.
talk about the snake, say pause after, because you just don't
No.
have the, like,
No, I kid you
navigation
not.
on
I
how to
kid you
use that
not,
word.
Yo, I watched the snake yesterday for 30 minutes because I have like a bunch of crickets in his tank and it was about to attack. But I don't know. They think my snake pussy. Like the crickets crawling on him and shit. I'm like,
I think he's adjusting
out.
to the environment.
You're not supposed to put a bunch of them in there, Act.
it's food. Okay.
Not too much. It's like he's
like
gonna feed the
5
fucking
each.
snake oxtails.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the show, man. Let's talk about J. Cole. All right, so he got on Twitter earlier this week and said, "Feed me beats, everything getting murdered." You guys know I was excited. I love mixtape Cole. And then he returned with the freestyle over the Uchiwali instrumental. It's called Album of the Year. Let's take a look.
PlayStation, reporting to you live from the International Space Station. I probably vacation on Mars. The flow is out of this world and so is the bars. Blow the facade right off of your squad. Little rappers, I love you, but you ain't shit till you got offers in Prague. Look that shit up. A book, nigga, pick that shit up. Expand your vocab. I'm giving out toe tags for no cash.
Oof, the off-season mixtape coming soon, and he has the Fall Off album. Is Cole finally about to go on the run that we all deserve? What do you think of this freestyle?
I want to ask you.
What do you think?
This is the first time I came in here and she had one song on loop. All right. I watched this joint. It was great. This is exactly what I expect from Cole when Cole is in this type of mode. I don't know what inspired him to just do this out of the blue, because he's a guy who's very calculated and he doesn't seem like after he puts out music, he has to rush to come back. Yeah. But I'm glad when he's rapping. I'm glad when he's talking this shit, even though I would love for him to say a name. But still, I love when he's in his bag. And this is amazing.
He's not saying anything.
You already know the names, man.
Duh, but
Which name? I don't know.
Nah, it was dope. I mean, Uchiwali is an easy beat to rap on. Like anybody, I'm not taking nothing from Cole.
Damn, Wayno.
I'm not taking nothing from Cole, but Uchiwali is like the Who Shot Your beat. Like, it's just a beat that everybody can rap on and it's gonna sound good to an extent. But he is calculated, and I think there's gonna be a push that comes out of this. The tour already started? Did the tour start? The
like
KOD tour? The tour with him and Thugger.
Let's get checking for him like that. Hey, hold on. On some real shit though, I was shocked. Low-key, I clicked on the profile and I was trying to see if he was hacked, because he was like, "Yo, new freestyle dropping, World Star." I was like, I'm like,
exactly.
This. It don't even sound like.
Yeah, that sound like Cole, right?
Yeah.
And then the Feed Me Beats thing too.
However, it does show me that if not him, which I do think it's him, he's keeping his ear and he's keeping his eyes on what's going on. You get me? While he doesn't actively participate, he's not one of those guys who post a lot or who do whatever online. He knows what's going on, and he probably felt it was the right time to be like, you know what, let me check these niggas' temperature, because you know what? This is needed right now, which I think I agree.
Well, he called it Album of the Year for a reason. Album of the Year Freestyle, because it could have just been called a freestyle. So I have a question to you both. In retrospect, what do you feel about this album? Because I went back and listened to KOD, and I think, to me, it got better. What do you think?
All it takes is for one freestyle for this nigga.
No, it does.
Listen,
it does age.
Listen.
I think it starts saying
let's have a conversation, because that's what it's called. It's called
Yeah.
Album of the Year. So let's have a small conversation on Album of the Year. Is it considerable? I think it's considerable for Rap Album of the Year, for sure.
Album of the year, nah, it's not. I mean, top 5. It's in the top 5. Like, my top 5 would be in there, but it's not my album of the year.
What's your album of the year so far?
Honestly, X's album. That's number 1. Number 2, and these are albums that, you see, certain albums that
Just say
aren't as
Scorpion.
lyrical. No, I enjoy Scorpion more than his album. 100%. What type of question is that? Also, I enjoyed Travis' album more than his. Who else? I feel like I'm missing so many releases. So many albums came out.
But they got so many. All right, so
I'm not counting any of those 7 joints album.
Okay.
The little 7.
Why not?
They're too short to really compare to like.
I think it was on. I mean,
Daytona was. We could consider Daytona.
Daytona's the best one out of all of them.
Yeah, I'll probably consider that, but like the rest of them, I'm really looking at them like EPs. I'll compare those to mixtapes.
Right.
You get me? But in terms of a full album, knowing that you have to put out a single, you got to think about a whole body of work instead of 7 tracks. We're like, listen, let me show you at my best for 7 tracks.
Well, I think so. With this, he's definitely considerable for rap album of the year.
Right.
Album of the year is a different
Give
story.
me a list because now you got me thinking. I think we talked about this before, but now I'm starting to think a little bit
Because
more.
what did we mention before? I think you like Nipsey's album.
To me, Nipsey,
a lot.
my rap album of the year is Victory Lap. That's rap album of the year.
Okay.
Right? Now, album of the year goes into a larger conversation because there's so many other albums that it has to go up against. But as far as rap albums, I put Nipsey's album in there. I put KOD in there as well. I put Daytona in there. We talking about rap albums. Put Daytona in there. Travis's album is a little bit too early for me, right? For me to consider
That's
it rap
fair.
album of the year.
In a few days.
And I'm just do I throw Scorpion in there with the rap side?
Are you both agreeing that this album is in the top 5 best rap albums of the year, right?
What?
The Cole album.
Cole
we can agree on that much,
it's
right?
definitely top rap albums of the year.
All
Definitely.
right. I feel like
and
that's...
it could win it.
What would be your critique of the album? I feel like this conversation comes up. People just don't necessarily love the beats he's rapping over, but I feel like mixtape Cole is a little bit different. It doesn't feel like he feels so much pressure to make this perfect project, and a lot of times it ends up being better because he's just rapping. And he's really fucking good at rapping.
This album probably, more than album of the year, probably should have been called like comeback season or some shit like that. Just because people doubted.
It's not really comeback season, though. Even though people talk shit, it's not like he falls off. It's just that he never stays present.
Okay.
It feels like.
Compare his albums. You're telling me that people were killing for Your Eyes Only. Killing him.
But it's not like
it's the first time I've seen critics, and I actually didn't mind that album. But I seen critics after he came off of Forest Hills Drives, they killed him for that effort.
Because it wasn't nowhere close to that. But so you think
however, KOD, all those critiques were pretty much quieted.
But can you really call it a comeback? I feel like that's when you like really sort of fall off. Even though people didn't like the album, I don't feel like anyone really doubted that he could put out a good project after his fans weren't going to be checking for him. I feel like comeback is a strong word.
No, well, the bounce back, whatever you want, something like it wasn't.
Okay.
He basically gave us what we kind of expected and needed. Of course, people still like me. I'm still gonna have my critiques, right? Like for example, I want that nigga to stop rapping over your fucking beats, nigga. Like,
but now he's giving us the unexpected, like you say, which is dope. With the World Star drop, he's got a mixtape, another project, Thugger on the tour. It's like
wait till it's time for an album. This nigga is all about collecting and publishing checks. He gonna be right.
But wait a second. Listen to that. Well, I liked KOD on first listen. I chilled for a bit. I went back and listened to it.
Count it up.
It sounds, that is my shit. ATM is my shit. But go back and listen to the album. It's a very good rap album.
That sounds like a good YG's album. I can't remember the name on it.
So I can't go to Canada.
Yeah. Okay.
But listen to that album. It's a good fucking album. And that's what he put it out for the conversation.
Yeah.
No, we know that Cole can rap. Like, come on.
I know, but I'm just saying he usually pulls a Frank Ocean. It's like he'll be here, he'll tour, and then he'll disappear for a couple years. The fact that he's like making the effort to stay present, I'm curious to see what the conversation is going to be in a year.
And again, I'm not sure what's the inspiration here. By the way, we all seen, and I don't expect music to come out of it. We saw the sit down with him and Pump. From what I'm hearing, he's reaching out to newer rappers that you never know, music could come out of it. And one of my critiques of him too is that nigga stay in his own box, his own cave, his little homeless shelter, and he never really collaborate enough. It's a little joke, relax.
I know, but he's out now. He's out of the
he don't really collaborate with the other rappers, and sometimes, you know what I mean, you could stand on your own, but like you gotta get in the ring with other people and also like collaborate. The ability to collaborate and get in someone else's world and still be you and still dominate, it gives a new perspective of even your talent. So like, I'm hearing that's going on.
But okay,
so adding that to these drops, I'm throwing it out on World Star. He's working on a mixtape. Like, I imagine he's very in touch, or he's a little bit more in touch now, or maybe just more cognizant of what's going on.
But what if you're not motivated? I feel like the thing about Cole is that he doesn't just, we know that he has the ability,
right,
but it's like, if he's not motivated to rap, then what is he gonna do it for? Like, I understand, of course, I would love to hear another record with him and Drake. Like, I would love to hear another record with him and Drake. I would love to hear a record with him and even Meek, because not the same subject matter, but I know that both of them could fucking rap, and they would probably give dope verses. But if you're not motivated by what's going on, then you're gonna fall back. You're gonna chill. You're not gonna say, I'm gonna just work with these guys because they're new younger guys. Even if they're new younger guys, none of them is motivating you because they only have one type of narrative or one type of sound. Now, I like the elder statesman shit that he did with Pump, with trying to school him on business and all of that, because we thought that it was like, of course it's not no beef, but we thought that he didn't actually like him.
Yeah,
Right.
but we all know that while, I mean, a certain narrative of the newer rappers or the certain like type of newer rappers seem to get most of the attention, there's a lot of newer rappers who are more lyrical, who probably fit his lane a little bit more, and yeah, I want him to fuck with them. You know what I mean?
I would love to see him and Saba work together.
Yo, he's here. Also, let's take into account people go through personal things, right? Cole's been married. He has like a family thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he also wanted personal time off, and now he's good. He's back. So I'm excited, waiting for more music.
What his album, and that's why I think this is also great, his album that he dropped, KOD, when he got into just certain even societal issues and perhaps some stuff that he's been battling, because I don't know what the fuck he do when he not rapping. But he was discussing some very deep issues that maybe was affecting his personal life. Hopefully that was therapeutic. It felt like it was, and hopefully now he's, you know what I mean, on his shit, you know what I mean? I like when rappers, I love when rappers pop shit, man.
Yeah, like, Cole, bring the rock chain back out. Bring the rock chain back out. Show him that you want to rap again. That you know some rapper shit. If he gonna start rapping, I want to see him on some rapper shit.
And I remember, you see, this is the moment in my mind when I just said, all right, man, this nigga not built for it. Like, I'm sorry. I always said, like, in terms of being built for, like, that throne, as soon as he said something about, like, he was like, yo, yeah, I'm not really competing with the other guys. Like, I don't want to be, like, you remember that quote he had where he was saying, he was dismissing himself from that conversation of being, like, of like going for the throne, quote unquote, in terms of being a number one rapper. He was like saying that, yo, I do me. I don't really look at anybody else or compete, and I'm fine without being in that conversation. And I was like, bruh, you're supposed to want to, like, being a rapper, there's something about that bravado that it takes to really want to prove and also dominate everything. You gotta want to go for the top spot.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing that and I was like,
But look, Aki also got to understand that I'm sure he had that hunger or started out, but you don't know the shit that an artist as big as him go through. That shit fucks you up, man. Sometimes you just want to fall back. And I feel like as a fan, you never think about that. But there are people.
Nigga rap. I'm sorry, man.
You don't come. You stay in your compound too.
Nah,
so stop
no, hold on. Yo, we making
Right.
too much excuses for these fucking millionaires, man. Nigga, you're great, you're famous, and yes, we all have issues, and that's why when through the music, we get some at least hint of what you're going through, and it's therapeutic, great, but come on, bro. Like, at the end of the day, stop telling me these things are stopping you, man. Get in your bag and fucking take these niggas off. And by the way, and I'm only saying this because it's freestyle, he's talking his shit. This is the shit that a nigga who wants to say to y'all, none of y'all can fuck with me drops. I like this, personally, okay? I don't mind the other shit, but I like when niggas
Personally.
I like when they in their bag, and I like when they talking shit.
I hope one day J. Cole can make you feel as good as Aubrey does.
Yes, me too.
Akademiks.
Drake be talking like he's the best ever. Meek be doing the same.
But we know who's the best ever.
Kendrick been calling himself the king of Harlem and everything.
He ain't that. See, here you go. Here you fucking go.
Forget about all of that, man. How about
he's talking that
the
bullshit.
legend that is Ray J? So you guys saw this beanie fiasco on Love and Hip Hop, right? So he's talking to Safari and the shit changes like a million times. Of course, people meme the hell out of it. But he wouldn't be Ray J if he didn't try to make some money off of this. Check out the new marketing promo.
Yo, we just dropped the RayJHat.com line. Everybody getting these hats. Go pick them up. It's popping. It's super lit. Got a Ray J hat line for babies, okay? Small babies, medium-sized babies, and big babies. All different shapes, sizes, and colors. RayJHat.com. Go get it now. We in the store.
I don't think Ray J can lose.
I don't keep it 100. Shit like this gets on my nerves, yo. Like, you don't gotta make a product for everything that happens.
Wait.
I checked.
What?
I
You
checked
better
to make
not
sure
say
it was
that.
real.
Why?
I had to check.
You a Harlem nigga. That's some Cameron shit, man. Harlem niggas will sell you any fucking thing.
They do, but everything don't always sell. Like, that's
Well,
the thing. Like,
at least
everything,
put it on sale.
everything always sell. I mean, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
Cause my thing was like, how many times did they tape that one conversation? Like, and this is
Yo,
reality
he claimed,
TV.
allegedly, it was a long hour-and-a-half conversation.
And it was
they
just
chopped
they just
up.
chopped it up.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense if they did it like that, but
Love and Hip Hop is scripted reality. It's WWE with like rappers and like entertainers. Yeah, they probably told that nigga because he's fucking up a line or a reaction to something, do it again. And you could tell this is, and I'm probably 100% right. Actually, I am. Fuck it. Who cares? You could tell he was getting more and more frustrated having to say the same fucking lines over and over again because the hat keep getting lower. Like, again, bruh?
nah.
Yeah, he
That
was
shit was-
frustrated. It started up here, it ended up there like a
Yo.
boom. Yeah, he was mad. Now, he put this on sale. Again,
They're expensive, too.
Are you getting one?
Fuck no. But you know what? The dumbass people who be watching that shit, believing all this shit is real, like they having a real conversation about, yeah, I know you're a savage out here in the streets, but you know what I mean, you talking to my man's wife. No, that's not real. Those dumbass people who believe that shit real, they gonna buy this hat. And he gonna win. Ray J, what I will say, he's a marketing genius. He's gone a long way from being Brandy's little brother to now using entertainment as a cloak to really promote some shit that make money. Scooty bikes.
I was going to say, where the scooter
hats.
bikes at?
Yeah, he's gonna promote every fucking thing. And I'm not mad at it.
Which is pretty funny.
He's
Hopefully
the Vince
Mono,
McMahon of Love and Hip Hop.
I'm hoping Mona don't got him in a 360. Because if she say, I want 30% of this shit.
Oh man, nasty.
Never know.
Nasty work.
All right, yesterday when Black Boy JB was here, we had a little bit of this conversation. We just want to get a little bit deeper into this conversation about biting flows, right? So Trippie Redd got on Instagram and said, Valee, not Valee,
Yeah,
because
Valee.
Trippie also said his name wrong, I guess, that a couple people, so Nicki and 6ix9ine on Fifi sound like his feature verse on 216s, that Tyler on Okra also sounds like that, and Smokepurpp's flow on Nephew sounds like him on Womp Womp. So I know you listened to all of these tracks. He responded and said he doesn't care, that no one is doing it as good as him. Do you feel like people are copying his flows, and does it even matter?
He 100% cares. And by the way, this is I want to let everybody know, this is a Def Jam pushed initiative right here. I've never seen more. This is letting everybody know our artist that we believe is talented, the popular niggas are jacking the sound. I don't know if they
But
really.
Trippie said it. It's not like you think Def Jam
Trippie-
paid him to.
No, Trippie does
he
not
ain't
like
get no
6ix9ine.
confirmation or no shit like
Oh,
that.
so
Yeah,
that's
Trippie will say anything about
Okay.
6ix9ine. And I don't even know why they threw Nicki into it. Nicki's a fucking featured artist on the song. She hears the song, I'm gonna rap kinda with the flow that's already there. I'm not trying to steal nobody's shit. Don't throw Nicki into this. When there's some shit to throw in, throw in. Now, what the flows he got, and the flows I hear in these other songs, yeah, somebody did some biting. But just like, because we spoke about this with the This Is America thing, sometimes we don't know, like we be looking at the most simplest thing. Well, this song we saw come online first, and this one came on afterwards, which means, yeah, okay, the fucking egg before the chicken. But you never know, like sometimes these songs move around the industry, people hear shit. We don't know if he bit their shit or they bit his shit, realistically.
Ooh.
Truth be told.
Twist.
But if they did bite his shit, all I could say is that you made it out. I can't even do that. You made a hot line. They made a hot song type of shit. Nigga, they made a hit song out of your flow. You got to make some hit songs.
Ugh, stop it. Listen,
Talk to us, Wayno.
years ago, this would be considered, like you would get banned for taking somebody's shit or whatever. Don't nobody give a fuck. When you got people who take full-on reference tracks.
Wait, hold on.
Wait a second.
Flow?
Flows. If you took somebody's flow,
How long ago?
this is long ago when
Like 20
rappers
years
rapped.
ago?
Like 10 years ago, maybe.
10?
Maybe 10, maybe like 13, like
13.
13, because I'm thinking about 2002-ish, 2005, no, 2004-ish, right? If you took people's flows, then it was a big thing, like it was a big issue. When you have people now in today's hip hop taking whole full-on reference tracks and rapping them over, nobody gives a fuck. This is not no big marketing ploy.
So at
by
this point, you
Def
just
Jam.
say nothing. If they ask you someone,
It don't
so
even
your flow,
matter,
just say I
like-
don't matter.
Hey, it gets even more complicated too.
How?
Is it?
Yeah, because this flow thing, everybody, listen, when everybody, I don't know if y'all get the mentions, y'all probably do, just like me. When Travis Scott drops an album, there's 55,000 people. Yo, Travis stole my shit.
Yeah.
Relax. He rhymed a little bit like you on like one song that your song's not how his is, right? What happens is that people be thinking they really invent flows. Like all these shits are dated. You get me?
They're
a
not
lot
all
of times
dated. You can't say that. All these flows.
I haven't
dated.
heard zero new flows.
You ever heard zero new flows?
All people do.
Really?
My nigga, on some real shit.
Are you
people
kidding me?
take an old flow and you reframe it around new beat. Like people, the shit we call the Migos flow, that's not no Migos flow.
All right, who has
They're
the most
people
original flow you've heard recently?
Recently,
Yeah.
I say newer flows. I say Gunna. Gunna got a lot of flows that's his flow.
Stop it. All those are
How?
fucking derived from Thug.
No, that's because he's around Thug and he's in the studio with him, so he comes up with his own shit.
So-
He don't sound like Young
Okay,
Thug.
so that's his variation of it. That's
So
my
how you
whole
gonna say
point.
nobody comes up with new flows? That's bullshit. You can't say that.
That's his. Listen, most of Thug Flow's shit came from Wayne. Yo, my only thing is this: when
He
you
don't even
start
rap like Wayne.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. When you start accusing people of like stealing your flows, I hate
See,
when
it's hard to trace the
I hate
origin.
I hate when people act like they own a flow.
Right.
I hate when people act like they own a flow because in reality, someone else did it before you, and we wouldn't say you stole it from them.
That's just life, though. Like, let's just be
Yeah.
for real. That's just life. Like, trust everybody who has ideas. Like, I could say I have 5 ideas, and there's other people that have those same ideas. Now, the thing is, you can't say that it's not complicated. You know what it is? The internet gives it light. Everybody has a fucking voice now.
Yeah.
All a person got to do, you post shit on your. I just seen somebody on your page yesterday talking about Little Skies took his shit or some shit like. But if somebody gives it exactly, you give it light. If you give this shit light, then you giving that person the voice to say the shit because people are gonna say it. But if nobody gives them the platform to talk about the shit, then it doesn't exist.
The thing is that even if they talk about it, it doesn't really change anything. It's like
It
we have the
doesn't.
conversation and it dies, right? So I read this like
Bingo.
in college, I believe it was this theory book. Was it called Death of an Author? Sort of the idea that once you put out a body of work, it's no longer yours. It doesn't
not.
matter
Right.
that you created. It's now public consumption. People can chop it, remix, steal bits, use bits. You know what I mean? This is sort of a similar situation at this point.
In
Let's
film,
go to a journalist shit. Read.
No, listen,
English
in
major.
film, like one of my friends that went to school for film, he told me in film it's only like 25 stories, right?
Right.
That's why you see Marvel and DC making all these fucking superhero movies because everybody's been selling us the same exact movie for years and eons. That's why they coming up with all the comic book shit now. That's why that's the biggest thing. Because they keep using the same fucking love stories, the same somebody stole my family, I'm gonna go get him back. The same shit over and over. All I'm saying is that now in today's hip hop, the shit, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter because you have reference tracks where people give somebody a whole fucking verse.
This is what I'll say because I'll bring the Migos up again. They were a little
So
salty.
who's
when
they
niggas-
flow? Like who gave them they flow then?
You act like the Migos flow like Bones Thugs and Harmony. Like,
No. They did not rap. The Migos do not rap like Bone Thugs and Harmony, my nigga.
Bruh,
Don't do that.
That little. Are you tell me that you can't see the similarity? I'm not saying they got it.
Influence. Wait a second. Influence and somebody's flow. Taking somebody's flow is 2 different things. Like influence. That's LeBron James. Where's Michael
It's not gonna
Jordan's
be the
number?
same.
He
Bones
does
Thugs
not
and
play
Harmony
like
was
Michael
never
Jordan.
on the same. Okay, they're from.
They never
different
was on the
eras.
same what?
But I'm saying that if we're comparing the Migos and the other flow, like they weren't on the same beats. It's different. On these little trap beats that everybody's rapping over, it's hard to not sound like the Migos because the Migos really brought it to that type of context. Now, let me finish my Migos point, right? When the Migos were complaining about that, first of all, I knew the Migos were so influential and they were gonna change culture, you know what I mean, pun intended, that they were gonna continue to make hit songs. And that's the thing I always look at with anybody who claims someone stole my shit. Now you got my attention. Where's your hit?
Okay.
Now you got my attention. Where your hit at? Okay, they took your shit and made a hit. You got my attention. I'm gonna give you good 3 to 6 months. Give me the hit. And if you can't give me the hit, yeah, you had a hot line, and nigga made a hot song.
So then you just contributed a piece of art that someone just built
but
onto.
I mean,
or take that nigga to court.
But see, sometimes that pressure, like, that could deteriorate their creativity. Like, that could make your creativity come down where people's like, well, if they took your shit, why can't you do this? Because if you making, all right, if you have it's not a line. Now, taking somebody's line, that whole, you made a hot line, I made it a hot song, all that was Jay-Z sampling Nas's voice and putting it in the beat. That's not a flow. Okay, that's not a flow. A line.
But he was saying that. Listen, your shit. This is exactly what he was saying. Yo,
What?
your shit wasn't hot until I took it.
Not
But are we
really.
saying in this case?
In this case, you can't say a hot line for a hot song. Like, you can't say that.
The flow wasn't that hot until I took the shit.
Do you think that applies in this case?
Yes. Which listen, I had to go back and look up these songs. These songs, while they sound cool, I don't think they're hits.
Womp womp. The one we listened to
The
just.
Womp Womp kind of sound good.
That sounds like some shit you would fuck with.
I like the Womp Womp. But they're not hits. They're not hits.
But a hit is not all
They're
dependent
doing well,
upon just the
though.
song.
Okay.
No, listen.
And that's why
Wait a second. Wait a second.
That's why it mattered for Jay-Z too, because it was the fact that it was Jay and how he used it. That's why.
But you can't compare those. The hit is not determined solely by the song. Let's be for real. 6ix9ine case in point, right? 6ix9ine case in point. It's not just that he took somebody's flow or he might have took somebody's flow. He has all these different things that draw attention
Murder on
to
the
him.
beat, so it's not nice.
Murder on the beats. Okay, it's a lot of different things that make the song. So you can't just say, all right, he took the flow, or he might have took the flow and just made it into a hit. Where's your hit? It don't work like that. Like, you can't.
Man,
It don't work like that.
Hits, man. That's my thing. Valee, I'm listening to you. I'm gonna watch your music. I'm gonna listen to your music. I'm gonna watch what you got going on for the next. Is it Valee? They say we butchered the name.
Man, I'm sorry for saying it wrong. Just correct us. I was
Like
trying to
Valee. Like Valee parking.
Yeah, that's the fault of the
Valee
internet. Like,
parking.
we see your name on paper so much, like we just like pronounce
Shit
it.
happens to me all
However,
the time, don't worry.
I'm gonna really like check for him, because if he's that influential, right, where his flows are getting stolen left and right, and he could say all he want. I like that he's being political. Def Jam's PR team got him trained right. Don't diss these guys. Just act like you're unbothered.
Yeah.
We'll get the story.
Oh, you don't remember when everybody stole Wiz Khalifa flow? Or when them flows off, all them flows off of Cabin Fever, when everybody and their mom was rapping like Wiz Khalifa?
Do you say anything about it?
He never said nothing about it. I never seen him say nothing about it, but mad niggas stole Wiz Khalifa shit. Mad people. When it was like that when that like a lot of people stole that flow from him. You ain't listen to Cabin Fever?
No, I don't remember who stole the flows.
A lot of people stole them flows.
Call some names. We ain't no calling niggas out.
I don't have to call. It's gonna take too much for me to think of everybody's name who took that flow, but a lot of people took the flow.
So what's our consensus? Yeah, I feel like you guys agreed at the end. It doesn't matter if someone steals your flow, especially if they do a better job than you, or.
That's what he said.
My consensus is that, you know what? If this made me listen to your music, I would have never listened to your music without this claim. Honestly.
Damn.
I'm being honest. I would have never, at this point, I would have never listened to your music until you got like a song that would have caught my attention. But this controversy caught my attention. We can't be honest. I listened to your songs. I heard those flows. And if I'm thinking that you're right, I said, damn, you might be a real creative nigga. Now, it's going to make me want to check out your shit more. Right? Also, fans are going to check out your shit more. You have the attention. Unfortunately, you can't rewrite history. We're not going to look at songs by Smokepurpp, like what's it? I forget the name of the song. What's the name of the song?
The Smokepurpp
Oh,
song?
yeah.
I have it written somewhere.
What the hell?
Oh, Nephew.
oh, Nephew or Fifi, and give you credit for it, even though your flow, if they did take it, inspired the whole song. We can't give you credit for that, right? We're gonna bump those songs just like a motherfucker. But now, this is a time for you to actually come with your body of work to make us buy into you. Because you ain't gonna gain nothing from, and I'm glad that he's not being salty about it, because people would just tell him to shut up. Like, that's how fans are. Like, fans rock with the hot shit, they don't care about the truth.
My assessment of this whole shit is that rap is just dirty, and it don't even matter no more if somebody steal your shit, because before, like, that used to be a big thing, jacking somebody's flow or some shit. It don't even matter. Rap is just dirty now.
Okay.
Niggas can just take your shit.
Wayno lost faith in all the rap when he heard those reference tracks. He's like, whatever, man. Y'all just do what y'all do, man.
Nah, it's not even just a
Fuck
reference
it,
track. I'm
dog.
just saying, like, this shit is dirty now. Like,
You from Harlem, man. Yo, you real hip hop, bro. You can't be allowing niggas to steal flows, dog.
Stop with all of this
With the
and all
whole-
that.
All
Like,
right.
stop
Wait,
with all of that.
All right, so real quick. So Life's a Trip finally out August 10th. Trippie's had a wild ride the past, year and a half leading up to the debut album. What are you expecting from him? How is this going to impact his next moves?
Oh, I expect him to have a bunch of fire songs in it. By the way, he been previewing collabs. You know the artists that be previewing shit for like hella long and you don't get it? Trippie one of those people. Like, he hasn't given us a lot of stuff we heard in previews. And I'm hoping what we get is going to be some hot stuff. Like, he had records with Wayne. He had other records with, who was it? He had Wayne. bunch of other niggas. I can't. No, I remember hearing those collabs. I'm like, how the fuck did Trippie get that?
But you just saw them in writing, or you heard
no,
snippets?
we heard them.
And the snippets sounded good. You like judging
they
snippets?
They all sounded good. I'm not sure anything sounded like a hit. And this is the only thing, and pretty much I think most people's like reaction to him dropping an album now is interesting. An artist like Trippie Redd, who is a hit maker, because all these little singy niggas who sound like goats on hooks, they could come up with big hooks at times. And he had a song with X that was like a really popular song, Fuck Love. But now it's his own project coming out, and he's kind of coming out like an artist that doesn't have a strong single. So it's more probably about the body of work rather than single based. And he's had a lot of success with singles, Dark Knight Demo, and even Dark Knight Demo's gonna be on this. It's like a couple months old. Like you usually one that, it's like, you know how we're going to Nicki's album, we're like, all right, where's the Nicki hit? Right? And even though you could be like, well, it's Chun-Li, well, okay, Chun-Li's a little bit old, what's the next one? So that's what it is. And anytime we do that, when we go into an album like rollout like that, I always look at it like, you know what? I'm assuming you're not banking so much on the album having a big splash in terms of first week. Of course, your fans are gonna get it, but you're hoping the music is so dope it's gonna last.
Yeah, I don't really know shit about Trippie Redd. What I was gonna ask you is, like, does your relationship with 6ix9ine affect how you view Trippie and like his music and shit?
No, I love Trippie's music. I really want to. I feel super bad for how. I feel like, you know, the tables turned on him. Like he was really popular when 6ix9ine wasn't popular. Now 6ix9ine's popular, and people look at him like, oh yeah, you used to be hating on him. So you know how rap fans.
The less popular person always looks like the hater.
Exactly. So now, like regardless of anything, and I even tell 6ix9ine this, I think Trippie makes music that will last longer.
I was gonna say, like, even if 6ix9ine, like we talk about him a lot because of the antics, is he more popular? Like just in this moment, but if we're talking about like a year span or something.
Well,
I feel like Trippie has a pretty diehard fan base.
Say up until this year, on a music run, 6ix9ine, he's, as he says, he's
just
8
from
for
like
8.
January.
You get me? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
when he means 8 for 8, he just means like getting onto Billboard, right? Like just
get onto the Billboard chart.
Just so not placement, just where he just getting onto the chart.
However, I think what it is it's two different mindsets. Like he's pushing singles, like he's pushing every song like a single. Like imagine if every artist, like no matter what song you put out, you shoot a video to it and pushed it like a single.
So do you think that he should have dropped the tape, or he should have just been putting out singles this whole time?
Well, it's working for him. If I'm him, I'm dropping another tape.
Well,
hold on. Okay. To finish answering that question, I love Trippie's music, and I can't wait for the project. I do know that the fans' perception of him, because of, okay, now you're the less popular, less hyped guy in the moment with you and 6ix9ine, like people don't want to see him win. But like,
wow, but again, is it just in the moment? Like if he does have like 2 mega hits on this project, are we even having this conversation?
A hit changes everything.
Okay.
But a hit changes everything. Listen, I've had conversations with a lot of people about Trippie's situation, because we know he has some legal stuff too. You know what I mean? And by the way, when all that's cleared, I want him to come up here and sit down with us and we can have a real good conversation about everything, just in music. But a hit song clears, it absolves you from like all sins. Like you could be for real, you could be a dickhead to people. You know rappers who just been.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But a hit song, fuck it, man. I remember it's the same thing with 50. Like, and I hate to bring up like 50 in this context, but like, shit, a lot of niggas ain't like 50, but shit, man, that nigga had a hit like, oh, fuck. You can do nothing.
Okay. I just, it'd be hard for me to get into a lot of the younger guys' music only because I don't know what they presenting. Like, I don't know, Trippie dresses crazy, and then, then he talks gangster shit, and then, like, but he says he's an artist, and I like Dark Knight Demo. That's the
and Love Scars. That's the thing. Sometimes for me personally, I just gotta separate it. Like I can't really tune into the Instagram bullshit all the time, but I really like Trippie's music, so I just listen to the music and don't pay attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just hard for me sometimes because there's so much music. Every day somebody asks me, have I heard about somebody that I've never heard about? And then by the time I hear about them, they already got 1 million followers and all these big records. It's too much to fucking take in sometimes.
Because I've had private and personal conversations with Trippie. One thing he always says, and that's why I can't wait for him to come up here, we could really get into a little bit more, because it's a bigger conversation, not just about him. for him, he really, even though he's a guy who is very much on social media, he doesn't want his music to be trapped in time capsules. Be like, oh yeah, that is only hot when this happened, right? He wants it to last. He says he wants to make timeless music.
Right.
And he says, he always gives this comparison. He says there's a difference between an artist and just a rapper. And I don't think he's meaning it by like.
I know what he means.
That.
Yeah,
but
he's right.
But he's like, an artist is creating art to live, and usually a rapper is just trying to create music for that moment. And he always compares himself in the sense of like, say with 6ix9ine, it's like, yo, yeah, he's having a moment now, but like my art is supposed to live and continue on way longer than that. And I actually believe him. I just believe that just how you say you see all these things, like, okay, you're an artist, but then we see you do this, we do that. He has to learn not to bite the bait. I've been advising everybody, do not bite the 6ix9ine bait.
Yeah.
That guy online will have you looking like out of character. They'll have you looking like a hater even though he's trolling you. Like,
Exactly.
unless you're down to do a bunch of skits or you recruited Fat Boy SSC or somebody to get him back, just leave that shit alone, because online perception is so big, and I don't know how, we'll see how it like manifests into record sales, but like we've seen the artists, like I could tell Travis Scott shit was gonna do great. Anytime I've seen conversations about it, and I'm only looking online, people couldn't wait. It's gonna do about 500,000. When certain people's names are brought up, I hear a lot of like negativity, or like, no, we don't like that person because they don't like them. I want to see how that performs.
So yeah, stay out of the bullshit, and then when it's quiet for you for a minute, no one cares. They're not hating on you just because you were beefing with someone else. It's so ridiculous.
Time and hit records heals.
But yo, so real quick, and we'll get more into this on the podcast because we're almost out of time, and I really want to get to some fan questions. Watch the Throne turned 7 this week, and Rick Ross's Port of Miami 12 years. Just real quick, like, how do you guys feel these projects aged?
Watch the Throne. I actually a couple weeks ago, remember when I went to LA? I was telling you I was listening to that shit, and that shit, I'm like, damn, like we'll never get this level like from Kanye and Jay again.
Yeah.
Like and I consider it now a classic. Like I consider it now a classic album.
How long did it take you to decide that it was a classic?
A few years. Like when I first listened to it, a lot of times when you listen to those type of artists, you got to think about what they're going through and everything. And a lot of shit that they're going through and they talking about, I wasn't at my life, or I wasn't viewing a certain way. But now when I think about it in retrospect, and you see where Jay's at in his career, and Kanye's at in his career, and just the levels of artistry that they give, that was a once in a lifetime thing. I seen Lenny S say that no two artists would ever make a album together that would be at that level, and he's absolutely right. I think that shit is a masterpiece, and it aged very well.
Yeah, and it's funny, people watch the Throne too, but can you imagine?
Nah, that's
Kanye
not.
and Jay are just not even on the same planet right now.
Wrap it up then. We good. We don't need no sequels. Certain shit don't need a sequel.
Word.
This album for me is a classic joint album. I probably gotta listen to it a couple more times to see, because
Watch it.
I never really certified it as a classic just as an album.
Yeah.
But in terms of a joint album, absolutely. It's a classic joint album.
Okay.
And especially, you see how great this was, and again, I don't know how it was created, how much time was put into it, or, that was a little bit...
It's top secret when they did that shit.
Yeah.
And they obviously worked much more closer than what we're seeing nowadays, with niggas just like throwing shit together. One's in Hawaii and one's in like Antarctica. But like the current like joint albums, they're trash compared to this. So like,
I mean, I don't think you could. You know how hard it is to compare anybody to Jay-Z and Kanye West. Like,
no.
I'm just saying the joint albums, like you can't even. They're not even scratching the stratosphere of that shit.
You're right, but just to see the cohesion and the level that this actually came out at, and to see what other niggas be attempting, makes you appreciate this shit more.
I get you there. Now, Ross, Port of Miami is not my favorite Ross album. It's not even close. I mean, I got to listen to it again, but when I first heard Port of Miami, Hustlin' is what drew me in, right? That was when you only got the single, then you get the album. So like Hustlin' drew me in. It was a lot of good joints on there because it was a different perspective from Miami. I was used to hearing just like Trick Daddy type music at that time, coming from out of Miami, so it was different. But I gotta go back and listen to it again to see what I really feel about it. I don't have a
Port of Miami, first of all, I love polished Ross. So I like the Maybach music. I love the rich of cocaine.
You just put on your sexy voice?
Of course.
Yeah, that was-
because he makes
Barry White
boss
voice.
music. He makes music that you get driven in your Uber and listen to your, I'm keeping it chill. Feel like you're being chauffeured at the highest
I don't
level.
know
like
if anyone's
staying,
ever been chilling in Uber. You gotta cut it out, Ak.
bruh, I'm saying like he makes like luxurious music that make you feel like you're living a different life. But Port of Miami, feel like that's that nigga off the block. And that shit was kind of raw. And it's great, and it shows how great of an artist he is, number one, and how vividly he could give you a picture, a perception of his life, how seamless he went in between the two. Because Port of Miami, that shit is fire. However, it has a different feel and a different, it's way more raw and rugged than like the albums I love later on, Deeper Than Rap, Teflon Don.
About Trilla though.
Oh yeah.
Because the
Trilla's in there too. Yeah,
Because that's what I was about to get to.
Trilla!
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to, because that album, to me, was like, Port of Miami was really good. It was good. I'm not gonna say it's not my favorite Ross album. It was good, but Trilla was like, oh shit, nah, he's dead serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like from top to bottom, from his singles to him rapping. That's the first Maybach Music song was on there too, the joint with him and Jay. But that's what Maybach Music really started from that, because when he on Port of Miami, it was just more Triple C's.
Yeah.
You know, Carol City Cartel with him, Gunplay, and Torch. You know what I mean? But that's where he kind of got into that whole boss mode Uber music.
Uber music. No one ever.
Well, since we never driven in the back of a Maybach, I gotta put some
Speak for
type
yourself.
of thing.
Yeah,
Just
speak for
kidding.
yourself,
I haven't either. I'm
J.
just
Cole
kidding.
got you in the back of the
Just
Uber?
kidding.
In
Relax.
the back of the-
I don't ride with rappers anywhere. All right, so yeah, check out the podcast that drops tomorrow, and we'll talk more about Watch the Throne. Chance named his 3 favorite tracks. I'm curious what the guys would pick. And now let's get to Struggle Exchange. Remember, please keep sending
Oh,
us
and by
your-
the way, random, I'm sorry. Salute to Chance. I'm glad that he saw that him dropping music and the reception of it, he said he got much more on the way. Yeah, nigga, the fuck? It shouldn't take that for you to... But he dropped 4 tracks and like, he was pleased that one charted. And he's like, oh shit, I could tell you I really wanted the music because I just...
But Chance, you should have known that, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this
You
nigga.
needed
I'm gonna check out his brother shit too.
Taylor?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
He's
he was on
Project
Breakfast
Out.
Club. He had some bars. I was kind of surprised, but I'm gonna definitely check his shit out too.
Taylor Bennett, check him
Okay.
out. He's a project out now. What was I saying? Struggle Exchange. Yeah, so keep sending us your videos. We like seeing your lovely faces on the screen. You could DM us at EverydayShrug on Twitter, or if you tweet it at us, please make sure you use the Struggle Exchange hashtag. All right, let's do this. Can we play, I believe it's video number 2, where we're talking about emotions versus drugs. Let's roll it.
My question for the Struggle Exchange is, why is it more detrimental to be an emotional rapper than it is to be a drug peddling rapper, i.e. the Pusha T Drake situation? Why is it more celebrated that an individual has pushed crack through our community and other drugs through our community, as opposed to an individual that has brought to light insecurities and emotional needs of people?
Wayno?
You want me to answer that? I can answer that first. Because first and foremost, like, being a drug dealer was celebrated because that was the only like occupation people actually looked at to become something. And a lot of the damage that it did, like, we didn't know, like, I ain't gonna say we, because when crack hit New York and all of that, I was a kid. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was running around with Rich Porter and then was out here getting money. Now, I don't think we knew as a culture the impact that it would have on our people, you know, down the line. Misplacement of families due to drugs. I mean, you in certain countries, you get treatment for being addicted to drugs. In America, we put you in jail for it. So people didn't know the types of effects that it would have. But the thing about it is like, when it comes to getting money, that was the only means. You know what I mean? That's what people did for desperation to make a better life for themselves. Unfortunately, it destroyed other lives. Now, in America, street culture is just is what it is, because street culture is ran by violence. Violence is the #1 fucking seller in America, from music to fucking movies to merchandise. People take pictures with guns, having fun with them all the time, and guns don't do anything. So in terms of comparing that to emotion, I think that hip hop has a masculinity problem.
Yeah, and the black community in general. Even
black
when we talk
community.
about mental health and things that
Absolutely.
we don't feel comfortable talking about.
Black men, we have a masculinity problem where we believe that because I can fight better than you, or because I've done something to harm another person, that makes me a better man or a stronger man or more of a man than you. And that's just a bunch of confusion. and we haven't figured that out within ourselves. I think that's why some things are more celebrated, because we look at shit weak. A lot of dudes, you say, we look at like loving a woman is like not a cool thing. Like, oh, you love that chick, like, you know what I'm saying? But artists like Drake tapped into them emotions, and that's what made him so big, is because he got women on his side and he got men not being afraid to display love or say they actually do go through phones. I think that honesty is what wins it all. If you honest about your drug dealing, whether it's a good thing or bad thing, if you honest about drug dealing, being emotional, being in the streets, or going from struggle to triumph, you're gonna win regardless, as long as you honest in your direction. So, but selling drugs is always gonna be looked at as a higher thing than using them, because people look down upon people who use drugs.
I only think it depends on the perspective.
Still.
It's the perspective if you're looking from where the culture kind of came from, and where it probably is. If you're looking at it from the perspective, usually from where it came from, yeah, it's like hip hop represents the streets, so it's a gladiator sport, all that. Right. And they're always gonna see that in terms of, okay, so you were selling drugs, or you were doing this, you were gangster, and you soft, like you was whatever. But what I will say, which people don't acknowledge, it is the Drakes and the Kanyes, the people who, because, you know, when those guys start getting like into really their sound and like their messages, where it's, yeah, I'm not the tough guys, whatever, like they were classified as beta males, right? As opposed to the niggas who's like rapping about some macho shit, like, yeah, those are the guys who are the street or whatever. But let's be honest, though, like the Ye's and the Drakes, they brought hip hop to places outside of the quote unquote streets where they started to appreciate stuff that they could relate to more, right? Because a lot of times, like, people who weren't from these like urban areas listening to hip hop, it's like, all right, cool, y'all doing all that. It's like watching a movie, right?
Yeah,
because you're not there. Now when they see, okay, I can't relate to that, but honestly, I could relate to some emotional shit. That's number one. But that's why I do believe that on the flip side of things, and this is how the effect of everything works, all that drug dealing music, right, glorifying drug dealing, of course, got a lot of people addicted. Then you have the kids of those people who probably end up becoming fiends, and now they're even involved in music. Then you get like even these like suburban kids, they're also like fucking copping a little Molly from their little deal at college, and they can relate to those people more too.
Right.
So again, it is a cycle, and it shows the growth of hip hop. That's why we're the biggest genre.
I want to add something else too, because it's not only that drug dealing and all of that and street culture is celebrated. You also have artists that give you the pros and the cons, the consequence. When you look at an artist like a Jeezy or a Jay-Z, it wasn't like, yeah, Jeezy talked a lot about selling drugs, but he also talked about how much selling drugs hurt him. He talked about losing friends to the streets, how much he wished Big Meech was out here with him. Like, so with people doing shit in the streets, when you become, like, as you grow older, it's an embarrassment to sometimes say the shit that you was into. So I don't think that everybody could always say, well, it looked like you're celebrating, you're not. Music is like high school. Like, music is like high school. The dudes with the money get the girls. The dudes that don't got the money look lame. They still get girls, but they gotta wait a little bit longer. That's just how the shit goes. But in terms of like emotion, I can't say that street rappers aren't emotional, because they do put their emotions out there as far as what they went through. A lot of people just can't relate to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, guys, thank you. Those are very good answers. I like talking to you guys about some serious shit sometimes. To be
feel me?
impressed, man. It's not just jokes.
Just over here sitting like, it's like Mom Deska comes out. I'm like,
Mom Deska.
Sometimes I can't
That's
be
a new
talking to you
moniker we
about
gotta give you.
serious shit. I'm good on Mom Deska, guys.
Mom
Leave me alone.
Deska.
I'm not trying to have no kids right now. I didn't catch your name in the video, but I hope you're
That was a
satisfied
deep
with
question.
That,
That was a good question,
so
man,
good.
brother.
Thank
That was a
you
good
for
question.
that.
That was a good question.
We are out of time, unfortunately, but please keep sending these. I'm keeping like a little spreadsheet because I want to get to all of the really good questions. Enjoy your weekend. Look out for the podcast tomorrow, and we'll see you on Everyday Struggle Monday at 11 a.m. ish.
Peace, y'all.
Good weekend.
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous.